Did you know, during the Cold War, a former Soviet KGB agent named Yuri Bezmenov became a whistleblower, revealing one of the most surprising and subtle methods the Soviets used to weaken nations. It was called ideological subversion, and it involved no military force at all. Instead, the Soviet Union aimed to infiltrate and influence societies from within, slowly changing people's beliefs, values, and perceptions until they were ready for complete ideological transformation. A humorous historical fact. Imagine overthrowing a government, but instead of tanks and missiles, you use education, media, and culture. It sounds like something out of a spy novel, right? Well, it was exactly what the Soviets were doing. Yuri Bezmenov, who worked as a KGB agent, became disillusioned with the Soviet system. He defected to the West, and instead of staying silent, he decided to reveal the secrets of the Soviet Union's quiet war, a war fought with ideas. Bezmenov outlined the process of ideological subversion in 4 stages, each designed to destabilize a society without the public even realizing what was happening. Demoralization. This was the longest stage. The goal was to infiltrate key societal institutions, education, media, and culture, to gradually erode traditional values and beliefs. Over the course of years, the Soviets spread ideas that made people question their own moral compass, their government, and the societal structures that held things together. It wasn't about creating an instant rebellion, but rather shifting perceptions slowly. By the time people started to notice, the foundation of their beliefs had already been cracked. Destabilization. Once society's core values were weakened, the next step was to destabilize the economy and political systems. This stage involved exacerbating existing social tensions, whether through political divisions, economic turmoil, or civil unrest. The objective was to create an environment of confusion and mistrust, making people lose faith in their leaders and institutions. The social fabric started to tear, and the country became more susceptible to change. Crisis. The crisis stage was where the situation reached a breaking point, an economic collapse, a civil war, or some other catastrophic event that forced society into a desperate search for solutions. It was during this stage that the people, confused and panicked, became vulnerable to radical changes. The societal order had crumbled, and the people were ready to accept anything that promised to restore stability. Normalization. Here's the kicker. Once the society was in crisis, those who had orchestrated the subversion would step in with solutions. They would offer a new system, often in the form of an authoritarian regime or a complete ideological overhaul. At this point, the population, exhausted and desperate, would accept the change, believing it was the only way forward. The revolution had been fought, but not with weapons. It had been fought with ideas, and those ideas had already reshaped society. Funny, right? It sounds like a wild conspiracy, but it was a strategy that the Soviet Union used effectively to influence countries without ever having to send in troops. They didn't need a war, they just needed time and patience to manipulate the way people thought. Subscribe for more.